So, I had a dream. It's kind of crazy, but I mean not super crazy because I mean it was realistic, right? Um, it was back when I had PSWs. Um, my mom was one, and this girl named Alix also was. I don't think it was Alix necessarily, but she was very Alix coded, let's just say. But anyway, like I'm not sure who this girl was, but basically, I don't know what I was doing. I was somewhere, like in a town or something, and I'm gonna say it was like a school, but it wasn't the school that I went to. And because it could have very well been like, well, it was like an office space, right? So maybe it wasn't even a school. Maybe it was like a doctor's office or like a dentist or psychiatric. Like I have no idea. It was some sort of office, right? So I was there, and I guess I called my mom for a ride or something. I'm not sure. I called somebody for a ride. I called my mom for a ride. And she didn't come alone. She came with, like I said, with Alix, I guess. Like, I don't think it was Alix, but, they came and, I don't know why we all three were together, because, like, special, like, BSW. It's like, why would she bring my mom with? But this is just what the dream was, okay? So, she came and we were in the city, right? So, and this was very common when I had PSWs. Like, we wouldn't just do one thing. We would, like, run several errands or, try to make the most of whatever we were doing, right? So, I don't know. We went shopping or she went shopping or something at a nearby, I don't want to say outlet, but because like it was very city, like the most of everything was like very city coded, but whatever, some sort of shop or whatever. And me and Alix were wanting to like leave or whatever, or I don't know. Alix said something about, I'm calling her Alix. It wasn't really Alix, like, cause I remember what her face looked like. It didn't look like Alix, but that's like, out of real life, right? If I were to compare it to all of my DPS workers, Alix would be the closest one to being who this girl might be, but I know that it wasn't. I know it wasn't. Like her face was not Alix's. I guess okay. So Alix is a really tall, blonde-haired, younger, like a girl in her teens, 20s. So like, so that basically. So there was a young blonde girl. It was like helping me out, and oh no, she talked to my mom and she's like, okay, we gotta go or whatever. Then my mom sort of like did not pay attention to her, and I don't know if it was like out of resentment or just not hearing or wanting to dictate what we were doing, right? Or, like we were like both of us were ready to go, but my mom wasn't or something. I don't know. So we kind of just left her, which was kind of crazy, and because Alix, like, honestly, like, well, she the thing was, she kept on calling her, and, like, I don't know, she was, like, lost in the, I don't know, because, like, I think very much, like, in the dream, you know, Alix and my mom were talking, so I don't know what they were saying to each other, or, like, you know, like, on her phone or whatever, you know, like, what did she, what kind of conversation was happening, I have no idea, but, anyway, but the thing was, like, it did become, like, sort of dark in the dream, right? Like, it started off, like, you know, it's like, it was, sunny, or, like, it was kind of, like, evening, like, this is very much how it was in real life, right? When I was going to school, I had evening classes, so I'd probably end up, at school during kind of the daytime, but by the time I got picked up, it was, like, already night, right? But, like I said, it wasn't it wasn't school, or it wasn't any part of the school that I've ever been to. Like, if it was the school, it wasn't any part of the school that I've ever been to. But, the whole thing was, like, I don't think it was school. I think it was, like, some sort of, like I said, it was, like, an office building, or something like that. It was something like that. So, because, like, there was a hallway with all these doors. Yeah, like, okay, like, going through my mind, like, okay, like, my therapist's, office looks like, it's not the same, but, like, it reminds you of that, or there was another example in my mind that I don't know, like, I just woke up, so I don't know, but, like, that, anyway, so Alex was driving me home, and, I don't know, she went off of the road and, like, was driving through this, like, really tall grass, and it was kind of crazy. I was like, okay, like, I knew it was dangerous, but it was like, I don't know, something interesting, like, because I guess the roads were busy or something like that, or I don't know, or maybe she just wanted to do that. But anyway, we were driving in this grass, but I think, also, like, I didn't think she needed to drive in the grass to get to this one place, but she drove through the grass to get to this one place, which was like, I don't know if it was like I don't think it was a farm, like, I don't know what this kind of place is called, but basically where they, like, grow flowers or something like that, where they, like, it's not a farm, because, like, that grows produce, right, and usually has, like, animals or something like that. This was like, oh my god, the word just popped into my brain and then left. For what that place is. I think it's a nursery, like a flower nursery or something. I don't know. I think that's what it's called. But anyway, so she took me there, and I don't know, we were looking at the different stuff there. I don't know, we were wading through the grass and the flowers and stuff. Like, we got out of the car at one point to go to the flowers or whatever. But basically, she was just like, she explained, like, she told me, like, yeah, I tried talking to your mom, or, like, I don't know, we were kind of talking about my mom, basically, just kind of like, Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what her deal is. Blah, blah, blah. I think it was the whole entire point is because they were both, like, okay, because, like I said, she didn't look exactly like it. Like, well, what I was getting at was that they were probably both my DPS workers, right? And so that kind of puts them in competition with each other, right? Like, I don't know. But she brought her or something, like, I don't know. And this was always what kind of the issue was when I was doing that, because it was like, oh, well, my mom's my DPS worker, but then I had other DPS workers, and I don't know. It was always just too complicated because it was like, and then I had to like figure out what was a fair schedule for everybody, like so everybody could get paid to help me, right? But like, and I mean like, yeah, there was like daily things that needed to be done, which they did help me, but it didn't really help me like, well, especially my mom, right? She got really resentful for driving me to school or doing the, like, like things above the daily tasks or whatever. Like, okay, like, for example, let's say I had a job or a school opportunity that, I don't know, I had to go to, somewhere farther away. They were not really inclined to help. I don't know, maybe Alex would have. Like, maybe that's the dream. Because she was like, because not all of them were the same. Like, I have had ones that were, like, really shitty and point blank just took really bad advantage of me. But some of them were, like, just kind of, they were, like, fine. And, like, the only thing that happened maybe was that, like, circumstances changed and they, like, I don't know, like, they moved or, somebody in their family had something and they had to, like, take care of them like, circumstances, right? Um, but I had some that were just, like, really shitty. Like, there's this one that really hated my mom. And I get what she's, like, I get what she didn't like my mom. And that's fair, right? Like, she refused to even set foot in our house. Or, like, because I was living with my mom at the time. And, that brought some tension for me because it was, like, it kind of, like, so basically she couldn't, like, help me with anything going on in the house. But also, what was the craziest thing is, like, okay, so, like, she would be complaining about, like, well, I don't have enough hours or whatever. So I'd be like, well, can you, like, I'd say some things that I would want to do, right? Like, I kind of made some bullshit, things, that I needed help with. I mean, not bullshit things, right? Like, it was like, okay, I remember I wanted, like, for the longest time, right? I've always wanted to, like, do, like, some sort of little gardening thing. Like, and I was asking her help for that. And she was like, well, you could do that yourself or whatever. And I was like, this is kind of insane because she's, like, complaining about not getting hours. Yet, like, when I think of activities that, like, I mean, would kind of help. I mean, there were activities that I wanted to do, right? But she would, like, refuse. And it's like, well, like, I mean, like, what, you want to be paid not to do anything at all? That's kind of fucked up. And I mean, like, you can, basically what it was like, you can't have one, you can't have, like, you can't be, like, both denying jobs and complaining about not having enough hours. Because I'm literally trying to help you out, to help me out, but you don't want to do the things that I'm asking you to do, so it's like, well, what the fuck? Like, and then one lady, it was really crazy, it was like, she was supposed to help me to go to school, right? I was like, I just got done with my GED, and so I was like wanting to enroll in the community college that I got the GED at. And basically she stopped, like right when like classes started, right? She quit unexpectedly. Like, she didn't explain anything. There was like absolutely nothing like, and it wasn't like it wasn't like an emergency situation or something. Like, if it was like, oh, something happened and she couldn't tell me or something, like, that's one thing. But it ended up that she quit so she could go to school and pursue a degree or whatever. And I thought that was really stupid, because it was like, okay, even if that was the case, right? She could be paid, like, it wouldn't be as much as like a full on like, you know, it like, I mean, she'd just be paid for some of the time, but she could have got paid to take me to school, you know? And like, we could have like coordinated our classes and stuff or whatever, unless she was just like not into the school I was going to, which makes sense, because I really don't like Shemeketa. It's kind of a bullshit school. But I mean, like, there's no way she could have possibly known that at the time. And also the thing is, like, just have the decency to like tell me, hey, you know, I don't feel right about driving, or like, you know, I can't do this or something like that, you know. But it's just like, you know. And the craziest thing is, like, my mom went around and did the same fucking thing. So it's like, that's so messed up. But, anyway. I mean, she didn't do it the exact same way, but she, like, would harass me the whole entire drive there. So then by the time I got to school, I'd be like extremely flustered and just you know, not able to concentrate on stuff. But it was whatever, you know. That's why, like, I give more credit to the ones who, like, you know, they're just like, hey, you know what, I can't do this. You need to find somebody else. It's like, okay, that's fair, you know? Instead of, like, lying. But I think those people, right, you know, who went about it that kind of way is because they lived in situations where you couldn't be honest. Like, you know, like, that's what it is. It's like, if you are in situations where there's no integrity, right? There's no honesty, then people feel like that's the only way that you can get shit done, or you have to be extremely covert in order to do anything, right? And yeah, that is kind of true in a lot of situations, unfortunately. But like the thing is though, this was before like social media was like a super big thing, and um, AI wasn't even a thing at that point. So I don't know. But um, uh, but yeah, I mean, I was like in the middle of interviewing this new girl to be my PSW from this different company or whatever, and she seemed nice. It was like I think she would have done a good job. She probably would have been like Alex was, but that's the thing though. There's limitations to what a PSW can do, and unfortunately, not many people actually want to help you succeed in the way that, like, obviously, like, there's plenty of people who help you just do the bare minimum, right? But when you have like a higher goal in mind, there's not many people who actually will help you do that. Like, okay, the thing with like what was it, like Steve Jobs, right? There was something like, okay, if we remember, I'm just going off of a movie, right? Because I never read like a, because like with Carl Jung, like I read like biographies, I watched movies, read letters, like correspondences between him and other people. Like, I did more research, but for Steve Jobs, I don't really know other past the movies, right? So I'm just going off of the movies. But like I don't know, there was some sort of project that he needed to do within like, I think it was like 48 hours or 64 hours. I don't know. He had a deadline, right? And he needed help getting this thing done. So he had somebody that like helped him or whatever. He had his friend. And he was able to do this stuff. Like I guess what I'm trying to say is like good help is very, very like, it is beyond well, useful, but like it's very valuable to have like sincere help. But anyway, so yeah, basically in the dream it was like, yeah, somebody was actually it was like a DPS worker who actually cared about shit. Or, I don't know, like, well, they were distracting me from my appointment, but we decided to go look at some flower shit, too. And that makes sense. I'm trying to think if there was any more to the dream. There might be, but I don't remember. I think just talking about like my past kind of made me forget about it. But yeah, that's basically kind of like if you needed an explanation as to why I'm kind of guarded and slightly cynical, but not super. That's kind of the reason, right? I mean, it's not just me. Like, well, I don't know. I always do this, right? I'm like, well, I'm not special. Everybody goes through this. Like, not everybody. But yeah, I've been shit on quite a bit throughout my life, so. And what's worse is, like, I was shit on by people who claimed that they wanted to help me, so. I think that's why I just, like, at this point, I like honest, or people who are just kind of straightforward. But anyway, yeah. That's it. I think that's done. I recorded the dream. That was the dream. And then I put my 2 cents into it. So that's more than enough. Anyway, take care. Be good. Bye-bye.